Hello, everyone, and welcome in. Before we get into today's episode, just a quick heads up. We did run into some unexpected audio issues during our conversation with Mayco. Unfortunately, parts of the recording didn't quite come through as clearly as we'd hoped, but we appreciate your understanding and patience as you listen along. We also want to share that we're working to make our podcast more accessible to all listeners, especially those with hearing disabilities. Going forward, episodes will be available with video and full transcriptions on the Matham House Studios YouTube channel. This also means that some episodes, like this one, may include visual elements when we're discussing things like glazes or surface techniques. So if you'd like the full experience, be sure to check us out on YouTube. Some content may not appear on platforms like Spotify due to these visual components. Thank you for listening in. We hope you enjoy today's podcast episode. Welcome into another studio session, Pottery Podcast. I'm Julie, and with me today is Will. How are you doing, Will?
Doing so good. Hey, Julie.
Hey. And we have a special guest on today's episode from Mayco. We have Todd Hickerson. How are you today, Todd? Thank you for joining us.
Thanks for having me. I'm doing great.
Great. Well, we are so excited to jump in and learn more about Mayco and learn more about you. And I think it would be fun just to start off about talking about your pottery journey, how you got into working with Mayco, all those wonderful stories. So
Sure.
tell us about your ceramic journey. Tell us about yourself. How are things
Yeah.
going?
I think my ceramic journey started as a kid. I was influenced by my great uncle. So if you want to do a deep dive and look into Victor Schreckengast, so he is a prominent artist, and he's known as American Da Vinci. So there's a great book out there called American Da Vinci, and it's about Victor Schreckengast. And he was my great uncle, and that's how I got started into ceramics. And I went to Ohio State University, got my degree from the OSU.
The OSU. Hey,
That's
fellow
right.
Ohioan here. I'm an Ohioan at least.
That's right. You have to get the D in. And then I studied at Gen Ceramic Institute in China. Been over there multiple times. Go over there to do workshops and feature to learn more each year. I go over there, and Mayco, they found me. They were looking for a new designer, and I started here about 13 years ago. So I've been working on the design team, the sales team, technical support. That's my journey into Mayco.
I was doing some research into Victor, your great uncle, and seeing his legacy that he's left on the impact of just artists throughout the American creative space seems really profound. There's even a picture of him with Laura and George W. Bush.
Yep.
It was a fascinating read. So it's pretty cool that you had such a artistic upbringing and now into Mayco.
Yeah, they say every person in America has been influenced by Victor Schreckengast one way or another. You can't drive down the street without seeing something that he has designed or had an influence on. So it's pretty, yeah.
Can you tell us a little bit about kind of the mission that Mayco's on as a ceramic arts company, and then how do you play within that mission?
Yeah, sure. Well, Mayco's purpose and goal is to help educate all ceramic artists, and we want to promote and support all aspects of ceramic artists. That includes teachers, children, the paint your own pottery business, and hobbyist potters also. And I would say put that into professional potters also. So we are a company that not only we're one of probably the only company that supports all different ranges of different markets. So we make low fire glazes, we make high fire glazes, we make molds, we make bisqueware. So we have our hands into all the different markets. What was some of the other questions you had there?
Oh, just like what? So within that mission, what is your part that you play within what Mayco does?
Yeah, I get to, I'm fortunate enough that they send me out on the road a lot. So I go out and teach workshops at our distributors or to different venues such as like Aramont, Penland, places like that. So I'll go out and teach how to use our products, best ways, best practices of using them, help educate the new products, like what we came out with this year. Yeah, and just show new ways of using the products and different ways to think outside of the box of how to use them.
Yeah. Well, I'm really excited to dig into that because later in the summer, you guys are coming out to Clay King to do something kind of like that, where we're going to host a Mayco, like our first collaborative workshop with any of our vendors. But I'm particularly excited for that Soda Fire workshop, where we're going to take your Mayco stoneware glazes and see what they can do in Cone 10 atmospheric firings.
Yeah, I'm totally excited about it too. It'll be the first time that we've actually worked with a distributor to do a soda fire workshop. Mayco has, I personally have put the Mayco glazes in soda or wood fires multiple times and lots of different firings, but this will be the first time that we've actually hosted a soda fire workshop. So we're real excited for it.
I think it's going to be a blast.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to it. So, now I mentioned to you before we started that I love using Mayco. The Mayco stroke and coat is my absolute favorite. And when people come to me, I think the biggest hesitation people have is what happened, when I go to glaze my work, I don't want to ruin my pieces, and they ask me what I recommend using. And I always go for Mayco stroke and coat. And I was showing you earlier, I love it. Love using the different colors combined together and then using like the light flux over it. And you all have, most other glazes do have a pretty narrow firing range. And the fact that Mayco produces glazes that can fire just from mid fire all the way. The same stroke and coat glazes I use, I can fire at mid fire and low fire. And some of them go to Cone 10. So I'm just so curious too about just the different glazes you have, maybe some that are your favorite glazes.
Well, Mayco prides in having a wide firing range. So when I first started at Mayco, that was one of the things I kind of tried to push is like, hey, let's take these glazes, these low fire glazes, they all can go to Cone 10. Let's just show it and let's start promoting it. So I think we've in the last couple of years, we've tried to really market that all of our glazes can be taken up to a higher temperature. They will change. And this is actually a perfect example of Jungle Gem Kaboom. So this is at 06. And then we got Cone 6. And then we got Cone 10. Oh, I'm sorry, I went backwards. Cone 06, Cone 6, and then Cone 10. And you can see how it changes the harder you go. So our engineers are great. We've got 3 engineers here in Mayco. What we've done is we've just made sure, without giving all the secrets away, we formulated all the glazes so that the pigments just don't burn out at hotter temperature. There's no real secret to it. It's just making sure that the pigments don't burn out. Let's see, what else what were some of my favorite colors? I really like using sandstone, which is SW196. It's a stoneware glaze, so it looks like this at Cone 6. But I typically fire my own work at Cone 10, and this is what it looks like at Cone 10. So when you put it in Cone 10 reduction, you get these beautiful purples. Yeah. So that's
Yeah, that's
one of my favorite glazes right now. The other one would be Ivy. So at cone 6, we got this nice green, but when you take it to cone 10 reduction, you get a matte result there.
oh wow.
That
Those
might
are
be
two of my favorite. I would say with the new release, so we just released at Inseca this year, what, 8 new glazes, 9 new glazes? What do we have? Not 9 new glazes that we released at Inseca, and my favorite one out of that release is Micro Pearl, which is just, it's a glossy white, milky white. But if you do take it to cone 10 reduction, you get these nice blues and purples also. So that's probably my favorite out of this new release. Let's see, what else? This new year, we've released a texture glaze. So these guys here, they're called snow gems. And they're just like our old Snowfall. It's a texture glaze, but they have little gems in it. Little gems of frit, crystals that melt. And we have 3 different colors of those. So those are pretty interesting. Yeah.
It's really fascinating how you guys can use like low fire glazes, and it really crosses the whole firing spectrum all the way up to cone 10. Like, I don't know of any other either glaze company that does that, but as somebody who's made my own glazes for a long time, I just think that's really impressive that the engineers are able to just make it chemically sound at such a wide firing range, because that's not easy to do, or at least from a novice's standpoint. I don't feel like that's easy to do.
Yeah. It's impressive, and I think it's something that makes us stand out compared to other companies. Yeah. And it's something that I think as myself going to school, making all my own glazes and stuff, and working in a studio practice before I started working at Mayco, I didn't realize what there was being offered by Macyo. I didn't realize there was all these glazes that could go up to cone 10 and have these beautiful results.
Yeah, I love mixing and making my own glazes, and yeah, I'm always impressed with Mayco every time I use it, and all the different varieties and all the different ranges that you all have. I'm always inspired by everything you do within the company.
Thanks.
So.
Yeah.
You guys just came out with 9 new glazes. Can you talk a little bit about how you choose like which glazes to pursue, like which surface effects are, like, do you spot trends within the ceramic industry and then try to go after one to meet the trend? Like, what
I mean, without being creepy, but we look online a lot and look to see what artists are making. We see the trends of what's popular out there. We have a Facebook Maker Mudroom Society, and we get to look on there a lot to see what customers are making, what they like, what colors they like. We look throughout social media and see what's popular, and then we'll come as a team together, a group of about 10 of us, and throw ideas out there, see what sticks, and then we'll think of ideas of what glaze we like, and then we take it to the engineers and see if they can actually make it. Is it suitable for our manufacturing process? Some glazes, the cost might be higher than what we want to manufacture. So it might not be suitable for us to manufacture and be able to sell it to customers at a decent price. So we wouldn't come out with it, that kind of thing. Or is raw materials available?
Do you find that a lot of raw material pricing has gone up in the past couple of years?
It has, yes. But fortunately, that we buy in such a large amount, it hasn't affected us as much as if an individual was trying to buy a bag of, say, EPK or something like that.
Sure, that makes sense.
Right.
One
Even with the change too.
I'm sorry.
Oh, sorry. I was gonna say with the changes too, like talc isn't as white. People have noticed, and it's been
Yeah,
affecting things. So I mean, you all have engineers and chemists
right.
behind the doors, so I'm sure you've got that all figured out.
Yeah. And that's a good thing to for customers to know. On our website, we have a product update. And speaking of the talc, when we make updates for glaze formulas, if raw materials have changed, we'll put an update on our webpage saying that maybe the color has now shifted due to the talc. Um, so you can find that on our website under product updates.
Perfect. Thank you for sharing that because that's something I definitely look at as someone who buys not in bulk but in smaller amounts with my glazes, and I really appreciate all the updates you do.
No.
So a few years ago, Mayco acquired Duncan and recently acquired Ritual Glazes. So, what are the stories behind those acquisitions, and what are your plans for the future with those companies now under that umbrella?
Yeah. Well, we are in the process right now with Ritual Glaze formulating the glazes to make them uh, friendly for the mass producing. Sarah, the owner of Ritual, she uh, was making everything in house in much smaller quantities. So now Mayco, now that we've acquired Ritual, we need to be able to produce it in large quantities. So formulas are going to be changed a little bit. They're going to be try to stay as true to what she had, but we need to be able to make it in bulk and to make it user friendly for shelf life. So be able to sit on shelves, for a year or two when we send it overseas. Um, so things will have to be changed a little bit, but hopefully the result will be exactly the same. So we're in the process of that right now. We hope to release early August, start selling them, and we're going to be doing a smaller palette to start, and we'll increase the palette as we have time. We get the first set of colors out, and then once those are on the shelves, we'll start sending out more colors and more colors. As far as Duncan, we have taken the best of the best, and we're going to keep making the best of the best. So that's as far as Duncan goes.
Well, it was cool to see the announcement at NCECA this past year about the Ritual, Mayco kind of taking in Ritual and Sarah and all the work that she's done to kind of really explode it out there, because the special effects glazes that she was producing were really exciting. And seeing a company like Mayco kind of collaborate with an individual, an artist that's not like this huge brand, was encouraging, as it was just a potter and an artist myself. But I guess I've been privileged through Clay King to work with Sarah on a number of different glaze lines that she's released, and then to see Mayco bring that in under their umbrella. And I'm excited for the future of what that holds.
We're working with Sarah hand in hand. She's actually, making multiple visits to the factory, working with the engineers, working with the design, working with marketing. So it's a team effort. She's got her hands getting dirty, working with Mayco and helping us make sure the product moves forward in the best way.
That's really cool. And that collaboration between artists is just encouraging to see. Aside from the Ritual collaboration, are there other ways that Mayco kind of comes alongside and works with artists to either in product development or in other ways to grow the community?
Well, our biggest way is at NCECA. We have demonstrating artists in our booth. So each year, we reach out to eight or 10 artists to show in our booth, and with that, we try to push out the glazes that they prefer to use. They don't necessarily have to use our glazes, but we ask them what glazes would they like to try. And throughout that year, they get to experiment and, learn what glazes work best for them, what works best in their practice. And hopefully it pushes their body of work into a new direction. And then they get to show off what they've been doing at NCECA. We do have an influencer program, so if you're interested in that, you can reach out to Mayco, and we help promote artists through an influencer program.
What are the influencers? Like, I'm sure a lot of the people who may listen to this podcast would be interested in learning more about that in particular. Could you double click into what an influencer for Mayco would do?
Yeah, they can make different projects. What's that? It's a lot with the social media. Yeah, doing different projects online.
So if I reached out to you guys and was like, hey, I want to do some videos on how to make combinations of the stroke and coat glazes and how do I use the light flux over them, how I get this effect, that's something
that would be a perfect example. Correct. Awesome. That would work great.
Well, I'm going to have to think of some techniques now. Some fun things you might be hearing from me. I love to learn and I love to share. And Mayco is one of those very user-friendly, but all the way up into advanced potters, I've seen people do beautiful work with your lines of glazes. So, speaking of pottery hacks and everything, do you have any suggestions on Mayco glazes that could save people time or improve results, or something that you even do that may surprise our listeners?
I could probably think of a few. I guess one of the newest ones is we just came out with the Sparkle Black On-Gobe. Mm-hmm. So that's in our new release. So it has little specks of mica in it. That's the little glitter. It's so that mica, when you apply it one coat, it'll still have a little bit of the black on-gobe over it. So what I encourage is you want to burnish it a little bit. It doesn't take much. You can just take your finger and rub that black on-gobe off of the mica, and it'll allow the mica to shine better. So you should do that in between coats to get the most sparkle.
I'm going to be looking for that now.
That's one. If you use, so we do sell all of our stoneware, not all of our stoneware. We have the best of the best. We sell in dry glaze. The crystals, so say sandstone, it is a glaze that has chunks of frit crystal in it. If you're using the dry glaze and you mix up your bucket, those crystals are really large crystals and they want to sink to the bottom of the bucket. I recommend not dipping into that bucket, but taking a pitcher, stir it up real good, pour the bucket into the pitcher, and then pour the pitcher over your piece. You'll get much better crystal dispersion, much better coverage by pouring over rather than dipping. That's one thing.
That's a really good suggestion for that, because I love using the ones that I can't think of it right now. I think it's maybe like the river birch or something that has those heavier particles at the bottom. And then when I get to the bottom, like, oops, there they are. So pouring over. That's such a good idea.
One more I just thought of, you could take, so with any of our jungle gems, those are the bright, very pops of colors, low fire glazes, like this guy here. There's nothing stopping you from, a lot of times there'll be a lot of extra crystals left at the bottom when you get done using the glaze. You can take those extra crystals and add them to another glaze and come up with your own your own glaze, your own magical glaze. So you could take, these extra crystals that are left over and add them to the micro pearl and make your own glaze.
Yeah, I love that, experimenting and coming up with something new. I have added just a white base glaze, like an alabaster, into like a river birch before, and it came out different, but it really came out beautiful, and I really
Yeah.
enjoyed that. And I was like, well, maybe I do this from now on, where I wait for the crystals to get to the bottom and then add in that alabaster. So yeah,
Fascinating.
it's very cool.
So along those lines, what are some trends that Mayco's noticing in pottery glazing or surface design right now that you guys are interested in pursuing next?
Well, this goes back to ritual. Really see that the beading glazes, the crawl glazes, those are really popular right now, and that's what we're focusing on right now as far as texture on glazes. You can, before we came out with Ritual, we were promoting the snow. So we noticed the trend of having textured glazes.
Do you think that the textured glazes will have a large demand in like the education space, like whether it's like a paint your own pottery or like school? Like I imagine that those are a large part of your customer demographic.
Yeah, I mean, I can see in the education market that teachers will encourage using the textured glazes where there's no really right or wrong way it turns out. So it opens up that ability for the kid to have a piece where, hey, they didn't, it wasn't painted incorrectly. So yeah, I can see it being popular.
I know I would have liked to use them when I was in school. We didn't have anything like that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I mean, when I was in school, we were taught how to make our own glazes, but then when I got out of school, I was like, wait a minute, I can just buy glazes to use on my pieces. So yeah, I would have really enjoyed all the different lines you have now. Oops.
Well, Todd, is there anything coming up aside from? I know we've talked a lot about the Ritual Glazes and the upcoming Clay King workshop. Is there anything that's in the loading bay of what Mayco's rolling out that you're particularly excited about?
Well, I'm excited. I'm headed over to England for a week or so to Pot Plays, one of our big distributors over there. So it's a week long of teaching workshops. What's that? I mean, I'm really excited about going to doing the workshop at Clay King, the soda workshop. I will get a little chance to have a little bit of a pre-workshop before your Clay King workshop because in 2 weeks will be Ohio University's atmospheric conference.
Okay.
So they have a wood fire and soda. We'll be firing 9 kilns throughout a week. So I'll be putting a lot of samples in those kilns. So we'll have some new results to bring down to the Clay King workshop. So that is, so yeah, that's looking forward to that conference. Yeah, headed up to Tucker's, which is in Canada, for a conference up there. And that will be coming up pretty soon. That's what's on my radar.
That sounds like a lot of fun. I didn't know Ohio State had that many atmospheric kilns. So that's
no, not Ohio State. This is Ohio University.
Understood.
Yeah, Ohio University down in Athens.
Okay, that's still impressive for a school to have that many, that spectrum of kilns. Like that's impressive.
Yeah,
and I'm excited.
There's a lot of big name artists coming in. It'll be a great week long conference.
Is that one of your favorite things to do then, is to travel, go to conferences and get to the opportunity to test all of these different glazes in new ways and with new artists?
Yeah, absolutely. And I get to see, friends from uh, all the different places that I'm at, get to visit, get to see artists that, I look up to, learn from.
What has been, in your experience, your favorite way to use the Mayco line of glazes so far?
Uh, Having no rules, I get to experiment endlessly. So I guess that just having no rules.
That's cool. I will say I have used the Mayco Stroke and Coat in raku firing before,
Yeah,
and it came out really beautiful. So it is really fun not to think, oh, well, I'm only limited to what it says on the label. I can take it and do whatever I want with it in whatever type of oxidation or reduction firing I want to try and experiment with. And I
yeah,
think that's really important for people to know, is that you can bend the rules or make your own rules as you will.
definitely. I mean, what I like to say in my workshops is that there's no right or wrong. You're just going to get a different result.
I love that. That's a wonderful outlook, especially when it comes to glazes, because I feel like sometimes people get disappointed with what how their glazes come out. But I mean, I rarely see a bad combination or anything like that. It's just different, and
Yeah,
it's just a matter of perspective. So.
Todd, is there anything that we haven't covered in this just brief conversation that you would like to talk about?
no, I think you've covered pretty much everything.
Okay, I just wanted to give some space there to see if there was anything you wanted to share, that there was space for it. But I think this has been a really fun conversation. I've loved getting to get a peek behind the curtain, so to speak, on what drives Mayco and your role within it. And I'm really looking forward to the soda workshop in a couple weeks at Clay King. I think that's going to be a ton of fun. And
Right.
just more than anything, I'm thankful for your expertise and taking some time today to share with us. And I hope that this has brought some benefit to some people who are interested in trying some Mayco glazes.
Awesome. Well, thank you for having me.
No, absolutely.
Thank you for joining us and sharing your stories and sharing more about the behind the scenes of Mayco. And if you're going to make it Mayco, right?
Yeah, and if you get a chance, look up American Da Vinci.
Yes.
Absolutely. Yes.
I'm
Thank you
excited
so much.
All right. Thank you.
This has been wonderful. Thank you for joining us, and I hope everyone gained some wonderful insight from today's episode.
Todd, before we go,
All right.
is there anywhere? I was just going to say, before we go, Todd, is there anywhere that people who might want to see your work could view that?
Yes.
No. I don't put my work out there. I mean, you can find it like Google search, but
okay.
Yeah.
We gotta get you an Instagram. We're gonna start an Instagram for Todd. You're gonna see him soon.
Well, when we get you out to Clay, we'll take some pictures of the samples you bring, and we'll publish them so that we can get a look there.
All right.
All right. Well, thank you so much for joining us today, and we really appreciated your time and your insight.
All right. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much.
Bye, Todd.
Bye. Take care. See you soon.
All right. See you soon.
See ya.